Hey, beautiful people. Now, we are currently in the National Human Trafficking Month. And when I think about human trafficking, it reminds me of gang stalking. And gang stalking is something that I didn't even know existed, y'all. Like, I've always been the type of person to, want to see the beauty in everything. Really see the beauty in everything. And I've always had the mind to look away from the struggles, the war, the turmoil. Every time you turn on the TV, it's something that's going on, and you look around your area and where you're from, and it's always something that is going on. So, I do my best to reroute and to redirect my mind and my attention away from these things. But when you think about it, and you think about gang stalking and what that really is, I still don't know what it is. And you see videos online about people talking about different things that they've been through, and houses that they've lost, and jobs that they've lost, and children that they've lost, and family that they lost. And then you have the other instances where their friends, their families, their jobs, they turn on them. And a lot of times these people are pushed from location to location. And in their mind, they think that they are running and they're getting away from these different things and these different places and these different locations. But they're not realizing that they are being gang stalked into these situations. Some people are gang stalked into human trafficking, because that's what that is. Gang stalking is a form of human trafficking. Some people are pushed into sex work, and they're viewed, they view human trafficking as, people who are put to use their body for sex, for work, for, somewhere to live, for a way to be able to feed themselves, to take care of themselves. Some people are, gang stalked to do all the same things that I just listed. See, people have to leave their jobs. They have to leave their homes. Sometimes they're in fear that they have to protect their family. Sometimes they're in fear of their life. And that's what that is. It's putting you in a space of being in fear of your safety, in fear of your life. And because of that, most people will do most anything to protect that, to protect their self, or to remove their self, only thinking that they, that they are protecting themselves. But they are being trafficked, y'all. And, in these instances, when you think about human trafficking and the mindset of the people, how do they feel? Like, what do they think when these things are happening to them? But the reality of it is that a lot of times they don't think. A lot of times they are mind controlled. A lot of times they are operating under mind coercion. This MK Ultra thing is very old, and the form of mind control, we don't realize that people are brainwashed and they are controlled. They are ultimately not their self when they make these decisions, and when they take these steps, and when they enter into these locations, into all of these different various places. And for many people who are gang stalked, for many people who are human trafficked, y'all, a lot of times they are either led to mental facilities. They don't survive it. Sometimes they die. Sometimes they lose their mind. And sometimes they check out of their mind because it's the only safe thing for them to do. To get into the space to where you're not able to control yourself, many will view that as someone who is incapacitated of the mind, but not only viewing the invisible, because that's what war is, y'all. When you see a spiritual war, it's a invisible attachment that is linked to you. It's a demonic entity that has entered you illegally. You see, when we look at the spirit realm and we look at the carnal realm, we have various different forms of legal entities. And, you know, these entities are judges. They are political office. They fall under different things, these entities, these jurisdictions, these groups of people, right? And spiritually, you have God, you have the angels, you know, there's also a spiritual court as well. But when these illegal entities enter you and enter your body, and the saddest part of it is that it is spiritual. It's also spiritual court, but we also have carnal court. And a lot of these people who are human trafficked, these people who are gang stalked, these people who are set up, you know, a lot of these people are set up and they are taken to jail. They have false charges placed against them. But the court system has their evidence. And a lot of times the evidence that is brought up against these individuals is edited. It's altered. It's staged. Because remember, we have mind control. We have mind coercion. So because of that, it may appear that an individual has done different things or has shown up in different places, but meanwhile they were being brainwashed, they were being mind coerced, they were operating out of delusion, because that's what it is. It's in a delusional state for people in power, because it has to be someone that is powerful, dependent upon the arena, dependent upon the circus, dependent upon the stage, the staged lies, the staged destruction, to continue to do these things. The false appearance of power, because I can't fathom anything other than that, other than a power struggle, a controlled experiment, or the false attempts of gaining control. Because that's all it can be, is a form of control over someone. But to be in that space where you're not able to protect yourself, to control your thoughts, to protect your vital organs, because if you are mind controlled, you are human trafficked. You are being trafficked from location to location, from facility to facility, to person to person. And you will meet people, and it will appear that they are there for you, but it's only for whatever form of control that whoever the individual is that's doing it to you need to gain from you in that moment. And it may be monetary for a moment, but it has to be more than money. It must be more than money. And you know, it has to be more than power. It has to be more than control. But I do want to raise up all the victims that are currently being human trafficked, that are currently being gang stalked, that are currently operating under a state of mind control. I want to lift all of them up in this moment and know that God loves all of us. And it is so easy to be in this space and to lose your faith, because that's what is intended for you to do. It's intended for you to lose your faith, to lose your way, to not trust that God is real. And God is very real. Despite the situation that you may be in, and you may feel that there is no way out. But I'm here to tell you today that when there looks like there is no way out, that there looks like, it may look like it's nothing that you can do but comply to your abuser, to comply to your pimp, to comply to, whoever's pulling the strings, that's gang stalking you, that's trafficking you, that's forcing you to use your sexual organs for monetary gain. Whoever it is, I want you to know that God is bigger, God is stronger, and God sees all. No matter what you are going through, and no matter how bad it is for you, I want you to always, always believe and know that God is with you. And no matter the smear campaign, no matter the amount of flying monkeys, whatever it is that you care about and that you love, if it is used to keep you in a space of fear, I want you to turn it over to God and know that no matter what they say or do or threaten to attack, to remove, know that when you are being gang stalked or you are being trafficked, God knows that it is out of your control, that it is out of your hand, and that it is nothing but the hand of God that will be able to come in and rectify that situation. There are people who are gang stalked, and they've been gang stalked by police, by people in power, by courts, who twist what they're going through and manipulate them, because it's a lot of people who are in on this. And you hear stories about people who have been human trafficked, and the things that they've been through and their survival stories. And then you also have the silence of the ones who were never able to speak out about their story. But I want you to know that your story matters. And whether you open up and talk about everything that you've been through, or whether you turn it over to the Creator and know that God knows all, you will get through. You will pull through. I stopped by with this reminder to encourage you that no matter when you look in the mirror, I want you to remind yourself that you matter, and that you are important, and that you will pull through. And when you have no one to motivate you and to support you along your journey, even in your darkest day, okay? In your darkest day, I want you to still know that you matter. On that note, I'm going to sign off, and I'll catch up with you in the next one.